Before we begin, let's play a game. A simple true or false. I've put together 4 ridiculous laws and I want you to put your hand up for which one you think is true. I'll give you a second just to read them. Put your hand up if you think the first one is true. It is illegal to fly a hovercraft in a royal park on Sundays. Okay, few of you, quite a lot of you. Number 2, it is illegal to shake a rug before 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, I see some familiar hands again. Number 3, it is illegal to handle salmon suspiciously, whatever that means. It is illegal to carry a ladder in a street, my personal favourite. Daily activity, that's what I do. So I'm afraid to tell you that none of you are in fact correct. All of these laws are true. I know, it's quite bizarre and outdated, right? So why haven't any of these laws changed? Today I'll be posing the question, can the law ever grow? Can the law ever grow? When we think of growth, we think of a plant, right? Like in the popular Dr. Seuss story, The Lorax. For those of you who aren't aware of the story of the Lorax, which I hope you would be, it follows the Onceler, one of the protagonists, who recounts his time with the Lorax, the guardian of the forests. The Onceler goes to the pristine land and cuts down all of the pink truffler trees, which the bears need in order to survive. Despite multiple warnings from the Lorax, he still decides to cut down the trees, and there's a moment of heightened tension where the Lorax and the bears team up to put the Onceler in a stream. So let's imagine the law is like the pink truffler trees. How can the community support the trees? How can the trees support the community if the community keeps changing who they are, i.e. the Oncelers joined in? I believe there are 3 things we need. Firstly, minimal conflict between the Onceler and the bears. Secondly, understanding of the different positions of these stakeholders. And thirdly, common ground. So let's begin with the first one. Minimal conflict between the bears and the Onceler. Like I've outlined, the Onceler wants to cut down the trees in order to make the needs, the pink garment that you see there. But the bears need the pink truffler trees in order to grow in their environment. The point being is that there's conflict between the laws. To eradicate conflict entirely would be highly impractical and impossible. Think about the conflicts we have in everyday life. Arguing who's going to take the bins out. I know that's a common one in our household. Or if someone says that they put cream on a scone before jam, that is definitely the biggest conflict that I've had. But the point being is that conflict is inevitable. We can all at least agree on that. But minimizing conflict, I think, is the main factor here that we need to consider. So let's use the context of the Onceler. The Onceler is introducing a new law that has the potential to be in conflict with an old one. So what can we do to make sure that the parties and the laws are both heard? I think we need to listen to the different positions. As you can see, they have their own positions and own factors that they like to consider. I think what we need to do now is listen. We need to take a step back and assess our own positions. For the bear, that's oxygen and the environment. For the Onceler, that's quick profit and family. And for the Lorax, it's sustainability and stability. But we need to take our positions and detach it from ourselves and put it on the table. This is known as the Rogerian method of argumentation, where you attempt to find common ground between the different stakeholders. Without listening, we risk escalating conflicts, which is something we don't want to do. So now everyone is listening. What do we do? I think if everyone is actively listening, we should be able to find where our points overlap and where they diverge. I think we need to focus on the overlap and find a common objective of the conversation. This helps direct the conversation to what we want to do. So with our Lorax example, we could say the objective of their conversation is to find the best future for the forest. So now we're almost ready for growth. But there's one more thing we're missing. In our very real society, there are boundaries. We have economics, psychology, philosophy, and all of these different fields that interact with the law constantly. So it would be difficult to try and clarify what we're talking about. It's difficult to regulate something that grows as quickly as bacteria in a petri dish. But like bacteria in a petri dish, we can establish the boundaries. The boundaries not only help the direction, but clarify the scope. For example, in this case, we could say that the boundary is establishing the best future for the forest in the next 10 years, or a certain amount of the forest. Overall, what do we think? Yes, the law can grow. I think provided we facilitate conversations between people, outlining a common goal, taking into account different stakeholders, I believe the law will grow on a micro scale. Thank you.